Hello everybody and welcome out to Overwatch Curios. I am Disciple and I am ready to try out the new Symmetra on PTR. If you guys haven't seen her changes, they are actually pretty exciting and I think that they might be a good step into making her a more viable hero. Currently she has a very low play rate, and even though she has a good win rate in solo queue, on competitive, in actual competitive tournament format, she's essentially never seen. So her changes, pretty much everything was changed about her except her right click. She can now store up to 6 sentries at a time instead of 3, and the regenerate time has gone down from 12 seconds to 10. Her right click is exactly the same, but her left click has a slightly longer lock-on distance, which although it's not a huge buff, is definitely a buff. And even if it doesn't make her significantly better, any level of buffs for her should be pretty good, because it can honestly take very little to make a hero playable. We've definitely seen that in the past, with just small buffs being what makes a hero meta or not. And so right now, I'm just going to work on taking out the enemy defenses while I slowly work up kind of my network of sentries. I've actually had some luck with Symmetra on offense before, and it seems to be working out all right, especially because you can do so much damage once you get locked onto someone, and I very frequently have been number 1 or number 2 in damage on my team, and it's been pretty spicy. So now that it looks like we caught the point pretty much, I'm just going to go ahead and throw a couple, stupid sentries so that they have some impact once we push forward, and just constantly pushing my sentries forward and forward. I haven't even used my E yet because I haven't really found much of an opportunity to, even though it's on a short cooldown, but I'll go ahead and show you guys. It is a projected barrier, kind of like a Reinhardt shield, but it just constantly moves forward. So you don't have as much control over when it's out and what you're blocking, but it can be very nice and clutch, especially if your team has to move through a chokehold. So I'm not going to go straight 1v1 with D.Va because she can just play and out damage me before I can do enough damage to kill her mech, but my team's gonna be bros and help out. So now I have my teleporter or my barrier projector, and that's one of the biggest changes that they made to her. So if you press your Q, you can toggle between them. So you can see this is the teleporter. Okay, it's actually super bugged right now. One of them is the teleporter, one of them is the barrier projector, and there should be icons for each one, both on my ult. Oh god, I couldn't see where she was. Oh man, easy. This D.Va's so free. So now what I can do is say I can go into an area off to the side here and either throw a teleporter or a barrier projector that gives my team 75 shields, which is way better than currently she is on live. Of course, you then sacrifice having a teleporter. Okay, so there we go. Now you can see the icons at least above. So this is the teleporter and barrier projector. I'm gonna use a teleporter right now because we're so close to getting in the point, and I honestly think that just having a little bit more help pushing, oh god. And then of course, he found me immediately. So I probably should have just run straight backwards after setting up the teleporter, instead of showing myself, because obviously I led them straight to the teleporter, and so it got absolutely no use. Overall though, I feel like I've been doing pretty well this match. Obviously my team is kind of holding their own, which might be something that you kind of need. It might be something that holds her back, because if your team isn't pushing up themselves, oh man, I'm really hoping my team, yeah, there they go, there they come. So your shield doesn't do anything against Winston, by the way. His left click goes through barriers, in case anyone wasn't aware of why I wasn't using my shield against him. But in an instance like this, I can throw out my shield and then I'm completely protected from anything the Ana can do, at least for the few seconds that it's flying across. It's also really good for, somewhere like Hanamura or Eichenwalde when you're on attack, when you're pushing through and there's only that one small area for your team to go through. It can, oh god, I got slowed by quite a bit there, but it's fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of take this old Symmetra spot for my own, make it a little bit easier for my team to maneuver around the payload. And oh good, our D.Va's all amped up, and their Symmetra was too. Honestly, getting nano boosted as Symmetra is really fun. I do need to be using my shield more. That's definitely something that I find myself kind of lacking. I definitely should, like in an instance like that, I can just run out and shoot it across and block quite a bit of damage. I think every time you use your shield, it counts as like 1,000 damage blocked or something. It seems a little bugged because it's always like in a multiple of 1,000 in the stats where it shows damage blocked. And like I've ended games with like 17,000 damage blocked, and that seems, or over 20,000 blocked actually. Let's see, when it breaks, yeah, it's every time you use your shield, it just gives you 1,000. All right, so in this instance, okay, I'm going to run out like the very long safe way so that they'll have no idea where I'm coming from. And now I'm using the barrier projector because I think that if we can just fight a little bit better around this spot, we can push it to the end, and hopefully we can get it in before my team even respawns. You know, if in case any of them do die in this push. Because you do get your ult refunded to you when you take the point, so I could just set up the barrier projector in a better location. Oh god, my eel do literally nothing against this Winston. So Winston is still very good against Symmetra, honestly now more than ever. Before Symmetra's shield was really good against Winston, or at least decent, because, you know, just giving you a little bit more help as a buffer is really nice, considering that he has like basically the slowest time to kill in the game. However, your new shield is so useless against him because his basic attacks and his primary fire, like, you know, his quick melees or his left clicks while he's ulting, like all melee attacks go through shields. So they do nothing. Oh dear, oh no. They are moving up very far forward. So now I'm kind of wishing that I had a teleporter there. I think a teleporter might be better than a barrier projector in actually like quite a lot of scenarios, except maybe where you're defending on a secondary point. Like if I were them on defense, I would probably be doing a barrier projector over a teleporter now, because they don't have quite that far to run. Like currently we're running much farther than them. And I think whoever's running farther is the team that's basically forced to have a teleporter. And it is kind of an issue currently that we don't have one. All right, I still have 3 sentries up, but I don't think they're getting much done right now. I've had oh my god. Why me? Why now? That was not the right decision, Anna. Hey, I got a kill though. That's what really matters, right? So one thing I really want to do with Symmetra that I haven't really had a chance to do yet is throw my E at a Pharah that's ulting, because as it gets closer to her ult will start to hit the barrier, and then it'll start to hit herself. And Pharah cannot cancel her own ultimate. So if you get the right angle, like if she's ulting towards you and you E, unless she like has like a perfect turnaround, like with really high sensitivity, because like even if she were to turn around and start doing it backwards, then once your barrier just passed through, I'm pretty sure it would just hit it and kill her. Unless she could turn around like as it passed through, which I don't think anyone could probably do. I'd like to test it out more, at least see it in game and see how it works, but it sounds like it'd work. Just when I played against Symmetra, or when I played against Pharahs, they did not ult when I was anywhere nearby. Or, you know, they would be out in front of me, but ulting like a different direction. So my shield wouldn't really get there in time. Unless, you know, maybe I can get it just straight through them and then it immediately just destroys them when it gets past. So currently, since we're pushing up through a little area like this, you know, just this, oh god. The Symmetra shield gives us so much leeway. However, the Hanzo dragon cares nothing for my shields. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a shield projector up here just to show you guys like how cool it is that like they can't get to it, but it'll still covers us. A teleporter would obviously be much better here. And if you're doing this, I would say use a teleporter, because we have so long to run here. But right now, look, we all have an extra 75 HP. They're gonna have to go so far to find it. And just the fact that it ignores line of sight like, and it can reach us here is pretty awesome. So that was a very easy attack game on Symmetra. I feel like we did pretty well. 16 limbs, 4 deaths, and what says 8,000 damage block, that's honestly just 8 uses of E, which was very, very low. And so, yeah, that's something that we got to do better. But, you know, we're just trying out the new Symmetra on BTR, still getting used to her. And I think that we could be Symmetra pros before too long. So thank you guys for watching. I want to go ahead and share another game after this, hopefully on defense or just on another type of map like 2-point control or 2-point capture control, so that we can take a look at how she looks there. But I think she's looking pretty spicy on payload. I had a good time, at least. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and hope you guys get a chance to try it out yourselves soon enough. Hey guys, so we just showed you an awesome performance on Hollywood, or at least what I feel like was a pretty good example of how Symmetra can work on offense. Now we're going to go ahead and show you guys how she is on defense. We're on Route 66 now, a place that oddly enough reminds me of back home where I grew up. I'm from Arizona. This is very clearly modeled after the Grand Canyon over here. Red rock. The only green around are cacti and scraggly bush trees. It's flawless. All right, so we're not the best Symmetra in the world. However, I am Diamond on the live servers. I mostly play tank and support. When I do play support, I really like to play Lucio and Zenyatta. But I think with these changes, it might put Symmetra back into my rotation. I really liked her before, maybe before some of her nerfs, when she had so much of her shields removed. Very originally at the beginning of beta, her shields were 75 like they are on her ult now. Then they got moved to 50 and then reduced to 25. When they were 50, there was basically the League of Symmetra. I guess that's what we call it in League of Legends. I don't know. It was like Symmetra Watch, where basically the entire meta was you'd get 2 Zenyatas. This was back when hero stacking was a thing. You'd get 2 Zenyatas, you'd get one of either Genji or Tracer or both. You get a Symmetra, and then you get a tank or another DPS or kind of whatever you want to beat the other team with, depending on the map, depending on what the other team is playing. And I need to be using my barrier just slightly more. Oh, I got a double kill. That was clearly all me. And in no part due to my team's efforts. Anyway. And it was basically Symmetra would put her huge ass shields on Genji and Tracer, which would basically, you know, their issues back then were having low health, and kind of the issues that they still have. They have relatively low defenses, especially when you compare it to, you know, someone like Reaper, who's another offensive character that just has obviously much more health as well as the ability to sustain. Easy. All right, so I feel like we're doing a pretty decent job right now. Just gonna try and keep as many sentries up as possible around the payload. And I'm gonna go ahead and set up a teleporter. Now the teleporter is probably gonna be more useful than the shield generator this far up in the map, but as we do get pushed farther back, then the teleporter will be less and less useful, while the shield generator I think becomes more and more useful. I'm gonna go ahead and, oh man, I can't throw it there. That's very unfortunate. I thought I might be able to throw it back there. All right, this should be safe though. So that just cuts off so much running time for my team, which is one of the big issues for offense on this map. That was a really, really solid shield from Zarya to keep me from getting stunned right there. I definitely would have died. All right, so I don't have my shield right now, but I have it in 2, 1, and now I can throw it out to keep us safe from the soldier as we move up to get into a range that we can actually kill him in. And I think that's one thing that makes Symmetra awesome now, is just the fact that she's so useless, you know, in these big open spaces where other characters have like much fewer limitations when it comes to range or mobility. But the fact that you can throw out your shield and run along with it and get into a range that you can fight these other heroes at. I mean, the shield's not going to do anything against Reinhardt. I just wanted to send it out because I knew I was going to die, and I was like, hey, maybe I'll block some damage for my team. But you could see there the fact that, you know, Soldier was ulting, but I threw out the shield, and it enabled Zarya and I to be able to get out into the open to get up to him and kill him, and then retreat out without actually dying. And, you know, those are the kind of plays that I think that I need to be making with the shield more often. I think that I sit on it a little bit too much, but it's definitely not an ability that you should be spamming on cooldown. because it's just so absolutely useful. So we can see here, I do kind of want to just play around with, you know, throwing it out there and seeing, you know, if there's enough heroes, is it going to be worth just throwing it out anyway? Do I really need to wait for, say, like a particular ability or ultimate or something to make use of it? This is really, I mean, it's just the PTR, and it's the very first day, so it's just a time to be experimenting with her. Like I've said, I'm not a Symmetra pro, but I am rated fairly high in Overwatch, and I do play a lot of support, so I think I have at least a good understanding of where she fits in the meta. If you guys watched our Sombra video with the live BlizzCon coverage, that was also me playing, or if you guys have seen, you know, any videos on my channel, I do something very similar to this, but I'll now be doing that pretty much exclusively on Overwatch Curios. I got stuck on a wall there and could not make it out through the door. I do that all the time, where I just like underestimate corners, and you can see right there, just ran directly into it. That was really sad. I have a teleporter now, and so being able to throw that teleporter out there should be really huge for my team. And along with a Mercy, it's basically like having a second Mercy res. It's obviously not as instant, but it's also useful if we die staggered or if I die. One of the biggest issues with Mercy has always been, of course, if she dies, then suddenly her ult is completely useless. Whereas Symmetra can afford to play a little bit more aggressively because so much of her kit stays relevant, even if she's dead, which I think is very cool. For feeders like me, it's perfect. Oh no. Another thing to remember is that even though your right click is like a charge alternate fire, you can still always use it even if you get hacked by Sombra. That's of course not every character's right click, because some characters' right clicks are abilities. But just in this case, it is treated the same as just firing, you know, your left click. And so if Sombra does hack you, you can, yeah, use both lasers, just like you always would. Oh no. Haha, yes. Okay, that was almost bad, and then it was fine. Oh no, they found the TP. Oh, Sombra is such a good teleport assassin. I've definitely got to play it a little bit safer back. I think if I play just with a few more sentries up, Sombra will kind of get boned, because I feel like she gets slowed down by them so much that it should hopefully be good enough to keep her off. Let's see. We'll see if I even have time to get another ult charge before the game's over. But I mean, you can see that I've actually done quite a bit of work, done a decent amount of damage, even though I'm not quite up at the top. It's just mostly because there are so many chances where you just can't deal damage, or you know, like where we have a Pharah who could just always left click towards the enemies and hit stuff with splash, whereas me, except for my random lobs down the lane, I kind of have to get up close and personal, which I would really love to do with this Sombra, but I was reloading it in the middle of that. Perfect. Learning proper sentry positions, learning placements for the teleporter and the shield generator, those are all the kind of things that I'm interested in learning. And really getting used to on Symmetra before, oh man, I was barely out of the hack there, but it actually doesn't really matter. Getting hacked as Symmetra is the only thing it really keeps you from doing, is using your shield, your E, which in this case, you know, didn't matter at all. Oh no, I wanted to place my ult so bad. But we were able to win on defense and offense. I feel like we did fairly well both times. You know, not the cleanest, most pro Symmetra play in the world, but you know, I feel like we did a good job. I think that she'll be pretty good in competitive on the right map, and I think that she definitely is a little bit more useful now than she was before, especially if you keep her on the second point, because having those shields is actually pretty big. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys want to give the Symmetra a try for yourself. She's on the PTR now, but she is going on the live servers soon. So hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.